2 trips and almost 3 full days in the mountains scouting for elk. Nothing but empty basins, silent woods, and a whole lot of doubt. But just when Taylor and I were about to lose all hope, on the last day, we spotted some bulls. Oh my gosh, this one's massive. Taylor, he's massive. Hold on. Welcome back to another video, and this one is going to be a pretty fun one because Taylor and I went out a couple times in the past couple weeks to go scout for elk, and this is our story. The plan was plain and simple. We were going to go out there, find some elk, put it on our hunting maps, mark them, and go back and hunt. That sounds pretty easy, right? But we found out right away that that wasn't the case. There was no elk sign. We were all around deadfall. There were no cows, cow elk, but there were a lot of cows. And it was just me and Taylor with a bunch of these moo cows walking all over these mountain ranges. And a lot of these spots were given to us by a local that we actually stumbled upon when we were hiking up to a spot that we thought was going to be a good area. After walking around the area that Taylor and I were looking into and found nothing, we went to the area that the local had told us that he's heard elk, he's seen elk, and this was pretty much his words, not verbatim, but he said, there's a lot of elk here, and I've even stumbled upon them just driving and they're walking across the road. Mind you, this is our first time in this unit, and so we don't know what's in the area. This is all new country to us, and so of course, we believed him, which we kind of shouldn't put all of our trust in what he said because we were excited. We said, oh, he sees elk all the time. So we went there and expecting the same thing, but nothing. So we drove around and we found a spot that we thought was going to be good. So we went to go check it out. We hiked up on this little ridge, and then first we saw some cows, and then we saw some deer. Next thing you know, we ended up finding like 20 deer in that area. So we were waiting until the sun started going down, thinking an elk will pop out because we were next to dark timber. There was some feed, a spring where they can get water. So from what we researched, we thought that was a good elk habitat. And again, if you guys didn't know this, it's our first time ever hunting elk. We thought it was gonna be good. The sun went down, nothing. Just more deer came out. So we marked that area for one of our other co-workers that has a muzzleloader deer tag. All right, we're here at camp now. Shout out to Taylor for bringing these T-bone steaks. Yerp. Yeah, booty. Tomorrow we're gonna hit it. It's not super early, but early enough. And then hopefully we could find some elk because today we found a lot of deer and a lot of cows. So we'll see you guys in the morning. Off to day 2 on our first trip. We woke up and all we were doing is driving the rest of this road all the way to the end, because towards the end of this certain dirt road was a fire that happened, I believe in like 2023 or 2022, maybe 2024 actually. And on the map, it didn't look too bad, but of course, if you've done this, hunting maps will show one thing, but once you get there, it's a whole different game. So we drove and we got to this area trying to find possible spots. There was a spot that local hiker had told us. We ended up going up to this area and there was a lot of shell rock. I've never hiked in that type of terrain before. And honestly, it was kind of sketch because it sounded hollow and it sounded like the whole thing was just gonna collapse. We were pretty high in elevation because that's all the stuff that people had told us and all the locals had told us that right now, at least at the time, elk were gonna be at a higher elevation. So that's what we went to go look for. And we went to this area and we both looked at each other and said there was no way that this area was gonna be smart to hunt in because everything was more than a 45-degree angle and it was just super sketchy. But now that we're walking back, what are those? So they're in here. I just don't know where. So hopefully we can find them, at least one. So we hiked back to the car and drove the rest of the road. And finally we got to the burn area. Once we got to the burn area, it was not good. Same thing, super steep mountainsides. The burn area was still pretty new, so the vegetation wasn't that good for elk to be feeding in. So that first trip was a bust. This is week 2, and we are back out at Beaver East with new location, new information to go check out some spots. We got some information from some people, and now we're going to be headed more down because Taylor and I don't know anything about elk that much compared to these guys that helped us out. And so now we're back out here. We have another one in the group. Keaton is one of the videographers that I work with, and today he's here with us, so it's going to be a fun time. Taylor's back there. We got Keaton right here. Boom. And now we're going to go out and just try to look for some cows. So for the second trip, we got to an area that looked really good. It was a little bit lower in elevation because we also got another tip from a local hunter saying that they should be around this area, around the junipers and this elevation, and in this specific area, this is where that person helped someone get a bull in 2023. So we're like, okay, let's go, dude. We went there, and again, it was perfect slopes. There were juniper trees, there was dark timber, and we thought we found a couple wallows. But when we got there, the wallows were dry. And I felt super comfortable in this area because I'll show you guys on the map, there's a wallow here, and there was another wallow in this area, and then there was a third one a little bit higher. From the maps, it looked like there was water, lower elevation, dark timber, feed, and escape routes, which are saddles that elk like to use. If they get bumped, then they go over the saddle, not like around a mountainside. So they like to hang out in those areas from the research I've done. So I was like, this is perfect elk habitat. Nothing, not one. All right, guys, we made it to the camp. Quick update on the whole hiking trip that we just did to try to find elk. We found nothing. We found like 100 cows, like like moo cows. So we're gonna go try to find a different spot tomorrow. We're gonna go over it tonight. But first, booyah! We got the steaks on the Blackstone. And then Taylor, explain where you got the salmon.
Costco. From the Kenai River in Alaska.
Yup.
Sockeye.
Yeah, he was out there. Yeah, he was out in Kenai, what, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago? Something like that?
End of July.
End of July. And he caught like 50 of them. So now he's like, oh, I'll bring you to camp. So we're about to have some steak, salmon, and some potatoes, or hash browns. But I just want to let y'all know that this elk hunting is pretty freaking hard, dude. But we'll see you guys tomorrow, hopefully in better spirits, and hopefully we will hear some elk, or see some elk. So Keaton had to go, and he was pretty bummed out that he wasn't able to come with us on this third day. But this is where the fun begins. So there was a burn area that we both talked about, and we thought that was going to be pretty good. And this was a fire back in 2019. We thought that the area was going to be overgrown, but we got there, and the first thing that we see that Taylor pointed out that I didn't even realize was, he said, dude, it's our first time seeing hunters since we started scouting. And I was like, oh wow, like I didn't realize that this is our first time. Also, the archery season was going on for that unit, but still, you would think that if people are going to be scouting, you'd see a couple hunters here and there, but this was the first time that we saw hunters. As soon as we went through the trailhead, we saw them and we said, this is good. We kept on driving. We saw more hunters in ATVs, more hunters in side-by-sides. So we're like, perfect, this is it. And this is where things started getting better. So that gave us confidence. We kept on driving down the road, and a couple minutes later, we found this spot. And this is where our joy started to come out. All right, so we just made it to another spot, and we are feeling pretty good because there was the first spot that you guys saw earlier. We found some poop, and it was fresh, probably earlier this morning. Now we're at this new spot. We see more of them, more poop, and a lot of sign of that the elk have been here before. So this area, it's a bowl. There's a couple flat areas. There's dark dark timber. There's their feed where they eat, where they drink. So now we're gonna sit up here in class for a little bit. And a storm's coming in, but it's gonna pass. It's not too bad. So we're gonna set up shop and hopefully we can find some elk. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Alright, good news. We found 2 bulls. I'll post some videos of one of them right now, and the other one literally popped up maybe 10 minutes ago because the bull was wallowing, the one that Taylor saw. And then this one, I was like, oh, let's see how far it is from the wallow. And I literally just panned my binos to the left, and I just see a big brown body. I was like, that wasn't there. And I was like, oh, that's another bull. So Taylor's like, well, there's our bulls. And I ranged it from where we're at, and it's like 800 yards. So there's gonna be a lot of hiking because this is some steep country.
Oh, there he is on the move.
Oh my gosh.
How does it look? It looks darker gray, which usually means older. Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh, this one's massive. Taylor, he's massive. Hold on.
He's darker in the front too.
Yeah, he is.
I know he's going down and he picks it up. I just saw the yellow body. It's like I can see it all the way from here.
Yeah.
That's the third.
That's the third one. It looks smaller than the other ones. After finding those bulls, we made the decision to mark the area and head down the road just a little bit more to find another spot and see, but it was pouring rain and the elk were probably bedded somewhere. So we're out here in a new spot.
I dug in.
Taylor doesn't have a rain jacket. We got soaked at the other spot. I brought mine out. So right now we're under this, what is this?
A couple leaves. Aspen.
An aspen. You wanna know why it's an aspen? Just by the way it is. But now we're just gonna possibly, honestly dude, I don't think this is gonna slow down. Look at that. We're thinking about just staying here and waiting for it to pass by, but just look at this. Coming right towards us. Huh?
Hazy sheet of rain.
Yeah, it doesn't look that much in the video, but it's literally like we saw it from back there and it just came. And now we're back in the rain, so I don't know. It's kind of fun, but not really. It's fun in a miserable way. So as the day started to end, we went down this super sketchy road, which that is story for another time, and the truck ended up getting some trail tattoos and my wheels kind of got scratched up. But that's why I bought this truck, is to go hunting and to go explore different places, which hopefully all that will buff out. Little side note, this road was on the app Onyx and it was purple, which solid purple should look like this because that's what we've been driving the past couple times we were out in that area. Wide roads, perfect for the truck. It ended up being like this, and it was super sketchy, and there was only one way out. There was no way for me to turn around, so we had to go through and just hope and pray that the truck was gonna make it all the way and not fall apart. But it's a Toyota, so it's literally in their slogan, let's go places, and that's what we did. So Taylor and I, we both work the same place. We both work full time. Hunting is not our job. This is just a hobby. And the amount of time that we wanted to scout was the only time that we could scout before the season started because he had things planned out I had things planned out. So most of our scouting was from the road, hike to an area, glass for about an hour or two, go back and move on, which I know that's not the right way to scout, but it's the only thing that we could have done. And I'm sure if you are also in the same position, you're not a pro hunter, nothing like that, you kind of have to move as quickly as you can to see if you could find sign or find elk. Scouting isn't glamorous. Most of the time it's boring, frustrating, and you keep asking yourself, am I just wasting time and I'm wasting gas? And honestly, a lot of doubt sets in. The preparation for your hunt physically, shooting, e-scouting, all of that kind of just goes to the drain when you don't see an animal. But just when you're about to give up that little piece that you want to give up and you go to one more area and you spot elk, that's when it's worth it. It's my first time ever experiencing that, and the rush I got from seeing those elk, I don't know, it was just awesome. So stay tuned, because these are some big bulls from what I've seen, and elk season and hunting season is 2 days away. So subscribe if you want to see us try to succeed. Be sure to like this video, comment down below if you have any thoughts. And if you're wondering what kind of gear I'm using, I will link them all down below, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace. Oh my gosh, this one's massive. Taylor, he's massive.